Shocking conflict behind the wings, Sam Heughan, Lia Williams and the risk of cancelling Macbeth. When the West End announced that Macbeth would be reproduced that fall, the media and theatre audiences were immediately shaken. What got the public talking was the cast. Sam Heughan, the star of Outlander, would play Macbeth, and Lia Williams, a veteran actress who had won many prestigious theatre awards, would play Lady Macbeth. Articles praised this as the perfect combination of youthful charm and veteran experience, promising a production of Macbeth that was both tragic and intense. Sam was also eager, because he had always wanted to prove himself not only as a TV star, but also as a true stage artist. Lia saw this as an opportunity to once again affirm her position in the hearts of Shakespearean audiences. At first, everything went smoothly. During the first script reading, famous director Jonathan Myers did not spare praise when Sam and Lia juggled together. Sam's eyes were full of determination, while Lia's cold, decisive voice made the crew's hair stand on end. However, as the rehearsal phase progressed, the hidden conflicts gradually became more apparent. Clash of styles. Sam was used to the modern way of working on set, fast, improvisational, and often based on natural emotions. He liked to experiment, sometimes changing lines or actions based on instinct. On the contrary, Lia was a pure, meticulous and principled stage actress. For her, every line of Shakespeare was the Bible, not a single word was allowed to be changed. The way she approached the role of Lady Macbeth was through careful analysis, delving into the psychology of each layer, each small detail. During one rehearsal, Sam decided to step down from the stage, approach Lia, and hold her hand tightly as he uttered the famous line, "I am settled," and bend up each corporal agent to this terrible feat. He wanted to create an explosive physical tension, so that the audience would feel that Macbeth was really drawn into the vortex of crime by Lady Macbeth. But Lia immediately stopped, frowning. "Sam, you can't change your position or gesture like that. This scene doesn't need physical contact. You'll ruin the whole set." Sam shrugged. "But the audience will feel it more strongly. I want him to see that Macbeth is not only persuaded by words, but also dragged down to the bottom by the presence of Lady Macbeth." Lia's voice was firm. "This isn't a drama. This is Shakespeare. Every move has to be precise. I can't improvise." The atmosphere in the rehearsal room was tense. Jonathan, the director, just nodded slightly, trying to calm down. "We'll try both ways, then decide." But from that moment, an invisible rift had formed. The tension escalated. In the following days, the conflict became more and more intense. Sam often arrived a few minutes late because of the tight schedule, which made Lia visibly upset. She was used to the iron discipline of the stage, where everything had to be absolutely punctual. Once, Sam arrived 15 minutes late, and Lia coldly said, "In Shakespeare, if an actor doesn't respect time, they will never be respected on stage." Sam smiled awkwardly, but inside, anger flared. He felt despised, like an amateur. On the contrary, Sam was also annoyed when Lia often corrected him mid-sentence. "You read the accent wrong, don't use that kind of eye contact, it ruins the whole scene, you're being too modern, Shakespeare needs to be classical." Once, after being interrupted by Lia for the 5th time in a rehearsal scene, Sam couldn't hold back. "I'm not your student, I have my own approach." The whole crew fell silent. Lia stood up straight, her voice cold. "If you treat Shakespeare like a game, don't expect me to cooperate." Number one expected that this sentence would become the fuel for a huge storm. Rumors spread. In the theater world, news spread like wildfire. Soon, the newspapers began to report, Sam Heughan and Lia Williams had serious disagreements during Macbeth rehearsals. Star couple clashed fiercely, and one newspaper even had the headline, "Macbeth premiere in danger of being cancelled due to internal conflicts." Sam's fans defended their idol. They thought Lia was too conservative and unwilling to adapt. On the contrary, the traditional theatre lovers sided with Lia, criticizing Sam as a TV star who wants to disrupt Shakespeare. Jonathan Myers struggled to find a compromise. He organized private talks, trying to help Sam and Lia understand each other better. But when their artistic pride was touched, patience gradually turned into resentment. At a press conference, a reporter asked Sam about the rumors of conflict. He replied vaguely, "I always respect my co-stars, but sometimes different artistic approaches can create challenges." Immediately, the press headlined, "Sam Heughan secretly attacks Lia Williams." Lia read the news, only smiled faintly, but her heart became even more bitter. The fateful rehearsal night. The premiere was only a week away. The rehearsal became the final test. The auditorium was quiet, with only the creative team and a few critics invited separately. From the beginning, the atmosphere was as tense as a string. In the scene where Lady Macbeth incited her husband to kill King Duncan, Sam suddenly approached, hugging Lia with great force, as if to depict Macbeth being bound in the arms of lies. Lia jerked her hand away, growling in the middle. "Cut." Jonathan quickly stood up. "Lia, what's wrong?" She pointed at Sam. "He ruined the scene. I've told you dozens of times, Macbeth doesn't need to be so physical." Sam blushed. "I just want the audience to feel the tension. This is an artistic choice, not a ruin." The two of them argued right on stage, in front of the entire crew. Their voices echoed through the empty, cold theater, making everyone shiver. Jonathan was forced to call a temporary halt to rehearsals. He feared that if the situation was not resolved, the premiere of Macbeth, which was supposed to be the biggest event of the season, might be cancelled altogether. The truth in the dark. That night, Sam sat alone in the dressing room. He remembered his early days on stage, his dream of standing on the parquet floor and reciting Shakespeare's immortal lines. He wondered, how did everything turn out so disastrously? Lia, in her room, was also lost in thought. She had devoted her life to Shakespeare, considering it a sacred legacy. She did not want to see a TV star turn the stage into an improvisational performance. But deep down, she also knew that Sam had real talent. His eyes, his temperament when transforming into Macbeth, really made her flinch. Neither of them realized that the collision was not just a contradiction, but also a clash between two generations, two approaches to art. The turning point. The next day, Jonathan decided to call the whole crew together. He said bluntly, "If Sam and Lia cannot find common ground, we will have to cancel the premiere. I cannot let the audience witness a play that is destroyed." The room was silent. Sam looked at Lia, his eyes stubborn. Lia looked back, cold. Suddenly, a young actress in the troupe, Miss Emily, spoke up. "Let me say something. I've seen you two act that scene dozens of times. In fact, when Sam hugged Lia, I saw a weak, imprisoned Macbeth, and when Lia pushed her away, I saw a cold, cruel Lady Macbeth. It was really haunting." "Maybe. You're both right." The group was in an uproar. Jonathan thought for a moment and then nodded. "Maybe we shouldn't choose one side over the other. Let's try a combination." Sam kept his strong emotions, Lia kept her coldness. That hug and that push might be the key. Lia was silent, looking at Sam for a long time. Then she nodded slightly. Sam breathed a sigh of relief. A glimmer of hope appeared. The night of the premiere was fiery. The premiere day finally arrived. The theatre was packed with audiences, from the harsh critics to the passionate fans. When the red curtain rose, no one remembered the rumors or conflicts before. Only Macbeth and Lady Macbeth stood on stage, drawing the audience into the bloody tragedy. In the fateful scene, Sam approached, hugged Lia tightly, his eyes filled with conflict. Lia coldly pushed his hand away, her voice echoing like a knife, "Screw your courage to the sticking place, and we'll not fail." The audience held their breath. That scene became the highlight, making the whole theatre tremble. When the curtain fell, the audience stood up and applauded continuously. The praises of "Bravo," "Excellent," echoed everywhere. The critics the next morning unanimously praised a new Macbeth that still retains the spirit of Shakespeare. Sam Heughan and Lia Williams, conflict turns into a masterpiece. Behind the stage lights, after the show, in the back room, Sam approached Lia. He whispered, "Thank you for not giving up. I learned a lot from you." Lia looked at him, a rare smile on her lips. "You also remind me that Shakespeare is not only the past, but also the present and the future. Sometimes, I need a young Macbeth to remind me that art also needs to take risks." The two shook hands. The handshake not only ended the conflict, but also opened a mutual respect.